This fight is like a reality TV show.
We gave you through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president.
I didn't
If
mean
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment,
Here it is directly accused that Donald Trump is a Russian agent, codename Krasnoy. Trump was identified and cultivated as a Russian asset 40 years ago. Apart from this, he talks about buying Gaza in Palestine. Here, he is being asked to give half of the money if he wants protection. Threaten other countries, blackmail them, talk about snatching their resources, or directly talk about colonizing or invading them.
what if the bomb drops on your head right now?
Hello, friends. 28th February 2025. In the White House, there was a meeting between American President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance was also present, and along with him, a lot of media was present. Everything was being broadcasted live through the camera. There, the White House chefs were serving food, and in the meantime, something happens here that has never been seen in modern diplomatic history.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
This meeting turns into a fight like a reality TV show. This meeting will now be written in the pages of history. Because from now on, global geopolitics and the world order of the world is going to change. The richest oligarch of the world, Elon Musk, is saying that he wants to withdraw America from the United Nations and NATO. USA has already come out of the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement, and his decades-old enemy, Russia, is getting closer to Trump's America. The situation has worsened to such an extent that some people are directly accusing Donald Trump is an undercover agent of Putin. What will be the impact of all this on the world? Let's understand this whole issue in depth in today's video. First, let's understand the background of this whole situation. It was February 24th, 2022, when Russia invaded the country of Ukraine. After this, the Russia-Ukraine war began. Some people assume the word war to mean a war on both sides. But this is not the case. It was a one-sided invasion. Ukraine went to war only to defend its country, but Russia went to war to seize more land and resources. Putin gave many excuses to hide this real reason. Sometimes he said NATO was expanding and we were in danger. So we went to war. Sometimes he said we are seeing new Nazis in Ukraine. We went to war to kill them. But all this is nonsense. It's just Russian propaganda. The real reason was colonialism. In the beginning of this invasion, the Russian forces advanced rapidly. They captured the northern and eastern parts of Ukraine. In response, America, the European countries and their many allies raised their voices in favor of Ukraine. Sanctions were imposed on the global level against Russia, and all these countries started providing weapons to Ukraine. The Ukrainian forces fought very bravely, and with the help of these Western allies, by September 2022, Ukraine was successful in pushing back Russia to a great extent. But after this, there was a stalemate in this war. Look at the map. The area that was under the control of Ukraine and Russia in September 2022 is still under the control of these two countries. The war has been going on for the past 3 years. Millions of people are dying on both sides. But Ukraine is not able to regain control over the remaining part of its country. And neither is Russia able to capture the remaining territories of Ukraine. For the past 3 years, the strategy of America and the European countries has been that they will not interfere in this war and will not send their soldiers. But for Ukraine to be able to defend its country, they will provide weapons to Ukraine, pay money, and impose sanctions on Russia. And the position of Ukraine and the Western allies has also been that this war will not stop until Ukraine gets back all its territory that it had before the war. But in 2024, there are elections in America, and Donald Trump comes to power.
It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
Trump had said in his election campaigning that as soon as he becomes president, he will stop the Russia-Ukraine war in one day.
Since I pledged to swiftly end the war in Ukraine. So when I say end it, you can get that. I will have that settlement done within 24 hours.
And now he wants to stop this war at any cost. This meeting was held between Trump and Zelensky. Ukraine says that they have no interest in fighting this war, but they want a guarantee that if they stop this war now, then Russia will not attack their country again after the ceasefire. And America should be given some guarantees and securities for this. But Donald Trump wants to ignore this question. On the other hand, Trump says to Ukraine that because we are providing you with so much money and weapons, you should give 50% revenue of all your country's natural resources to our country. I'm not kidding. Actually, Donald Trump has proposed this plan to Ukraine. He wants all the oil, gas, contracts, ports, infrastructure, whatever is in Ukraine's natural resources, half of it should be given to America.
And I understand that's a big deal, very big deal.
This is the same deal as the East India Company used to do in our country. The Telegraph newspaper has described this deal as the economic colonization of Ukraine. The Economist magazine has even said that Trump is directly asking for protection money like a mafia. Here, half of the money is being collected weekly if you want protection from us. Obviously, no smart politician will allow half of his country's resources to be sold like this. So Zelensky also refused to sign the initial agreement. He said that he will not sign anything which the next 10 generations of Ukrainians will have to pay for. In response, Donald Trump got angry and publicly called Zelensky a dictator.
A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast because...
He posted on social media that better move fast or you won't have any country left. It was only after this that Zelensky went to the White House to meet Donald Trump and discuss this minerals deal. This is where the meeting of the 28th of February takes place. Everything is on live broadcast in front of the camera. The meeting goes well for the first half hour, but then the situation starts to change. Zelensky says that Putin has broken the ceasefire 25 times. How can we trust him? If we stop the war today, he will attack our country again in a few years.
Just ceasefire will not never work. Before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. His own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
Trump had no answer to this. He just said that Putin has not broken any agreement with him.
But he never broke to me. He never broke to me.
Vice President J.D. Vance said that the path to peace will be through diplomacy.
The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
In response, Zelensky starts counting all the incidents when Putin and Russia broke the ceasefire agreements.
But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people, you know?
It is important to point out a historical fact here. Ukraine was once the third largest nuclear power in the world. It had a lot of nuclear weapons. But in 1994, it became the only country to voluntarily give up its nuclear weapons. The 1994 Budapest Memorandum was signed on this. Russia, USA, and UK signed it and said that Ukraine is giving up its weapons. But if any country does aggression against Ukraine, these three countries will come to protect Ukraine. Obviously, this agreement was of no use today because Putin himself invaded Ukraine. And now he is retreating from the USA to help them. That's why Zelensky asked Vance what kind of diplomacy he was talking about.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
At this point, J.D. Vance started getting angry. He said that you are being disrespectful to our president in front of the American media.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
Zelensky said that if America doesn't stop Putin, then one day he too will have to face that problem. Trump also got angry on this. Trump said that don't tell us what to feel. Your position is not good. You are gambling with the lives of millions of people, and what you are saying is very disrespectful to this country.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly what you're
I'm
doing.
not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
Now, just like kids, J.D. Vance started asking Zelensky if he ever thanked him.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank you?
In this entire meeting, Zelensky had thanked him at least 10 times. Trump and Vance directly threatened him.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you think
You're
about-
gambling with
what do you
World
think
War
about-
III.
In this same meeting, a reporter present there also asked Trump what will happen if Russia breaks the ceasefire. Trump also started giving the opposite answer. He said, "What if a bomb falls on your head?"
He's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if the bomb drops on your head right now?
Such useless arguments we see in a TV show like Roadies or Big Boss. But here, such arguments are being given by the President of America. What a joke they have made.
It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. You're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a
but
ceasefire.
I said to you-
I want a ceasefire.
When Zelensky finally started answering, Trump sent the media out. After a while, Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. The mineral deal was not signed, and the food prepared by the chefs for both the presidents was left as a decoration. After the meeting, Trump posted on social media and said, "Zelensky is not ready for peace. He has insulted America in the Oval Office. When he is ready for peace, he can come back." Zelensky tweeted in response, in which he repeatedly, sarcastically wrote, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Many European leaders post in support of Zelensky after this, and Zelensky writes, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Actually, Trump's aggression against Zelensky started a few weeks ago. Until Joe Biden was the president of the USA, Ukraine was getting unconditional support. But as soon as Trump became the new president in Saudi Arabia, he held a meeting of US officials and Russian officials to talk about Ukraine. But Ukraine was not involved in it. This conference reminds us of the Yalta Conference of 1945, where the fate of small European countries, America, Soviet Union, and Britain, decided without them. While Biden's government's approach has always been, nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. After that, on the 24th of February 2025, when the United Nations General Assembly had to vote on the resolution against there itself, a shocking thing was seen, where on one hand all the countries of the world, either in support of Ukraine or by being neutral, had voted, while America, for the first time, along with Russia and North Korea, voted against Ukraine. This was the first time in 100 years when USA and Russia were on one side of a United Nations vote, and most of the countries of the world were on the other side. Obviously, the question arises here, why is Trump doing this? There are two major reasons behind this. First, Trump not liking Zelensky, and second, Trump's Russian connection. You heard it right. Here, it is directly accused that Donald Trump is a Russian agent, codename Krasnov. In 2019, the U.S. Parliament impeached Trump for involving foreign powers in the U.S. elections. Trump was accused of taking Ukraine's help. Trump tried to pressure Zelensky to investigate Ukraine's President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was on the board of a Ukrainian energy company which was being investigated in Ukraine. During the Obama administration, when Joe Biden was the vice president, Ukraine's prosecutor general was removed on charges of corruption. The investigation of Hunter Biden's company was suspended. Around 2019, Trump called Zelensky and asked him to start the investigation again. Even then, to blackmail Zelensky, Trump stopped Ukraine's military aid worth crores of rupees. Although Ukraine got the help later from the U.S., Zelensky government had to plead many times.
Biggest story, which is the impeachment of President Donald Trump.
When this was revealed, Trump was impeached. Trump blamed his impeachment on Zelensky. This was the first reason. But the second reason is much more interesting. Russia's investigative agency is KGB. Former KGB Major Yuri Shevts was posted in Washington in the 1980s. He accused Trump of identifying and cultivating, in the article of The Guardian in 2021, some people were recruited when they were only students. Later, they reached important positions. Trump was one of them. Yuri said that Trump came to the radar of Russian intelligence in 1977 when he married his first wife, Ivana Zelikova. She was a Czech model. Since then, Trump slowed down the Czech and became the target of KGB. 3 years later, Donald Trump opened Grand Hyatt New York Hotel and bought 200 television sets from Simeon Kislin. He was working as a spotter for KGB. He identified Trump as a potential asset. According to this claim, Trump was given the code name Krasnov. After this, in 1987, Trump and Ivana went to Moscow and St. Petersburg for the first time. According to Yuri, KGB carried out a charm offensive here. Trump was given the talking points of KGB. He was flattered and told that he should join politics. The Russian agency said that one day he would definitely become the U.S. president. Immediately after returning to the U.S., Trump gave full-page advertisements in the main newspapers of the U.S., which raised questions on U.S. foreign policy. Immediately after this, he started looking for presidential nominations. It means that he was interested to join politics and become the president. In the year 2000 to 2012, Trump had tried twice to win the presidential nomination before the 2016 election. In 2016, when he won the election and became the president, he accused Russia of propagandizing to make Trump win. Many U.S. government investigations have given solid evidence that Russia had interfered in the 2016 U.S. elections, which helped Trump win those elections. Russian troll farms that spent lakhs of dollars on Facebook and Instagram ads, cyber attacks, bot armies are a separate topic. Earlier, these claims were dismissed as conspiracy theories. But in 2025, when Trump became the president again, he was so clearly aligned with Russian interests that people started pointing fingers at him. For example, look at this tweet of Anonymous's Twitter handle. It shows Trump as Putin's dog through AI. In the first month of becoming the president again, on 29 different occasions, it was documented that Trump sided with Putin. This is America's internal politics. But the problem is that Trump is becoming a threat to the rest of the world. And the reason behind this is neo-colonialism, the kind of exploitative minerals deal that is being given to Ukraine. Trump has shown the same thoughts towards the rest of the world. Donald Trump has directly talked about taking over other countries. Sometimes he talks about buying Greenland.
Also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Sometimes he talks about regaining American control over Panama Canal. Trump has made fun of colonizing Canada again and again, saying that it will become America's 51st state.
I said then Canada should be a 51st state.
Apart from this, he talks about buying Gaza in Palestine. His solution to the Israel-Palestine war is to remove 20 lakh Palestinians from Gaza, to settle them in another country and 5-star hotels and luxury cars. I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza.
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza.
As a real estate development for the future, it would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians
no
have the
big
right
money
to return?
spent. No, they
Trump had also shared this video from his official Twitter account, in which he shows his new dream for Gaza. By renaming Gaza, he makes it Trump Gaza. And everywhere his gold statues are seen in Gaza. If we talk about renaming, Trump has also renamed Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. The arrogance and ego with which the government is running, analysts have named it bullying diplomacy. Threaten other countries, blackmail them, talk about snatching their resources or directly colonize or invade them. Such an approach can give short-term victories against weak countries. But America is sowing the seeds of its own failure. According to Foreign Policy magazine's article, The Bad Economics of Bullying, this approach of bullying is harmful for America because the bullies are pushed away from them. Today, Trump is behaving all the old allies of America. Sometimes he talks about tariffs on European countries, and sometimes on India.
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one.
According to Foreign Policy magazine's article, The Bad Economics of Bullying, this approach of bullying is harmful for America because the bullies are pushed away from them. Today, Trump is behaving all the old allies of America. Sometimes he talks about tariffs on European countries, and sometimes on India. Threatening and blackmailing is going on here. If a country doesn't agree, he is talking about tariffs. What damage will this cause to America in the long term? You can clearly see, when other countries see how USA is treating them, they will see unity. Already, after Zelensky's incident, European Union, France, Germany, UK, Ireland, Canada, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Netherlands, Poland, Spain, Italy, and many other countries are coming together. A new consensus is being formed in Europe that Europe can no longer depend on USA. American companies are being boycotted, and it is being discussed how to build a European army. Other countries are making new strategies to tolerate Trump. One strategy is strategic evasion. It means pretending that we have agreed with Trump, but actually we have not. After World War II, where America emerged as a superpower, different institutions in the world, like the United Nations and the World Health Organization, played a leading role. Today, America's relevance is diminishing. Geopolitically, there is a vacuum. Who will lead these international institutions? It is necessary for some big countries to follow the path of leadership. The world cannot be bullied this way. It is necessary to increase international cooperation. Countries like China and India have the best opportunity here. India has a unique opportunity here. India can present itself as a reliable partner, which is America's alternative. Due to the tradition of strategic autonomy and non-alignment, India is in a position to get a globally front seat. Diverse economic partnerships should be made with all Asian, African, and South American countries. It is not just an opportunity, but a responsibility of every good country, of every good leader, to protect all the small countries of the world. Because if this is not done, then this neo-colonialism will destroy all the small countries of the world and will lead the world towards World War III. I hope you find this video informative. If you want to know how America became such a big superpower after World War II and what were the reasons behind it, comment below. I will definitely make a video on it. Thank you very much.